You're live, 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 live. Just looking. I don't look at myself often. Hey, welcome. I think. Let me double check that my audio is going. My audio is going. I think it's okay. We're gonna go with that for now. I have the air conditioner on. It is hot. I don't really want to do this without the air conditioner on. I'm sweating, and so we'll see. We'll see how the audio sounds and all that. So welcome to Therapeutic Thursday. I always try to land here on my Thursdays, do something creative, drawing, journaling, mandalas, usually mandalas. Tonight I'm not going to do a mandala. Tonight I'm going to do some word, what do you call it, hand lettering. So it's writing down the a phrase or words and then trying to make it look pretty. And it's just something it was one of the first kind of obsessive art styles I had when it came to like physically drawing, like pencil to paper, that I got really into. And I made a whole book's worth of hand lettering things that I like. And so it became kind of like those random things I really enjoy. So another thing I can share is this art of hand lettering. So, with that being said, it's Therapeutic Thursday. I'm going to notice my body. I'm going to notice my breath. And wherever my mental state is, right, I'm meeting it where it is. So it's not like, oh, here I am, I'm going to do therapy or therapeutic things because I'm bad, need to be good, broken, need to be fixed. I'm meeting myself where I'm at. There's nothing wrong with me. It's just that sometimes I follow my thoughts too much in my brain, and I'm running around through in a state of constant, like, I'm in my head. And sometimes I need to get, at least, if I'm going to be in my head, I might as well try to get that information out through my body, and maybe that's to my hands to a piece of paper or some sort of medium of which I can express myself, right? I love yoga because I get myself in my body and I move my body. I like chanting because I feel the vibrations in my body. I like meditating because I like to allow my thoughts to happen and not be attached to them. And I also like art and art therapy type things because it allows me to express that same overactive brain in a constructive way. And I invite you to do the same. It's why I do this at least once a week. I try to always go live. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's just I'm busy. And here I am. It's Thursday. It's Therapeutic Thursday. And so we're going to do this. So welcome yourself to your space. Get all set up with at least a pencil and a paper. And if you just decide, you know what, I like this body doubling imaging thing where you're sitting here for an hour doing something, I'm going to sit here for an hour and do something, and it could be something completely different, right? Maybe it's just journaling, maybe it's writing, maybe it's drawing your own thing. You do not have to do what I'm doing. I do like to explain what I'm doing while I'm doing it because it helps me stay in the moment. It also is nice to share what I'm doing, and if you want to also do that same thing because you don't have a creative outlet that you do, you can steal mine, borrow it, have it, own it, do whatever you want with it. Well, here's my notebook. I just got this, brand new. I got it from the dollar store. It's $1. But because of that, I'm excited because it's brand new. And look at all these blank pages, which can seem almost like scary and daunting. It's like, ooh, what would I do with all this blank space? What should I do with it? I want this to be my resource book for yoga, for teaching, for my chakra work, all of that. And I specifically want it to be information I can pull from. Like I have other notebooks that are a lot of my own thoughts and journaling and all that stuff. And that's great. But I want this to be a resource that anytime I'm want to help somebody, I get to grab this and it becomes my tool book. And because of that, and because it was a dollar store buy and it's just a simple blue notebook, I wanted to put something on the cover that would remind me of something that helps. And so the other day when I was meditating, I came up with this kind of phrase. Again, I'm sure other people have probably said this better and had there's quotes out there. I didn't bother looking it up, but it's just something that came to me that I liked. I liked the phrasing. My wife said, that's really good. You should write that down. And I was like, cool, I will. So that's what I'm about to do. So the phrase I came up with, and what I think I'm going to write down here on my piece of paper, is, I'll write it just at the top. So, you can't, or you cannot, I like contractions, you can't think your, is Y-O-U-R, is the correct your, not you are, your, how do you spell it? Intuition, I-N-T-U-I-T-I-O-N. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that because I like to make sure my spelling is correct. And that's it. You can't outthink your intuition. What does that mean? Well, I spend a lot of time in my head thinking about everything. I overthink. I constantly have, I'm not the only one. I'm just saying what I do. You probably do it too. I think all the time about what, like I'll have a conversation before I have it. I'll think way too much about what I'm going to do before I do it. I spend way too much time in here. And it's good to plan, it's good to prepare, but it's not always good to stay in your head about something. Sometimes it's good to just do it and hope for the best with the concept that you know what to do when you need to know what to do it. And that's your intuition, your gut. So my goal, hopefully, is to take this notebook as my resource, right? I want this to be a thing where I go to this when I need the words that help me, right, guide me and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I want to always go with my gut and my intuition, because your intuition, your gut, that voice inside is almost always telling you the right thing. It's our ego brain, this thought process of me going, I need, or I know better, right, than the intuition, meaning that, like, I can outthink this. I can do the right amount of research. I can do the right amount of preparation to make sure I succeed in whatever it is I'm doing. And I think that there's something to say about sometimes letting go of over preparing and overthinking, and sometimes, you know, preparing, but then when you arrive, kind of letting go of whatever you arrived with and just trusting that you'll do the right thing, you'll say the right thing, you'll act the right way, from your intuition, from that innate kind of voice that's deep inside that tells you good, right, wrong, all of that. All of that being said, to me, that is my therapy, to stop overthinking and to start trusting my intuition, which is almost always when I have a situation and here I am thinking and thinking and thinking, and then I get to the situation, and then it ends up being not what I thought, but what I went with as far as my gut feeling or my intuition. I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I felt like this was the right thing to do, and then I did that instead of all that thought I did, and it was right. So I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm saying that my intuition is almost always right, and that my thinking brain sometimes wants to be right or likes to think it's right. That's a lot of explanation. I'm not a therapist. This is me working on myself. So let's get to the drawing aspect of this. Making this a creative outlet will help me solidify this. So if my quote or my words are, you can't outthink your intuition, my goal is to put that on the front of this notebook. So I have this space to work with. It's blue. It's shiny. It's also like a thicker cardboard paper. And so I have to notice that medium, because I'm like, okay, I can't do it with a pencil, obviously. I'm going to need some sort of pen. A marker would just rub off. So I have to figure out the best way to kind of make this happen. And I could practice a little bit on this and try to find the best way to get this. I could just use a pen. Let's see what that would look like. notebook. See, it's hard to write on this stuff. And this is just my awareness of like, okay, let me use a piece of paper to make sure the pen works. It works. So that'll work. Okay. It's kind of a standard pen. Works. And I think you do need something sharp. I have a lot of like felt tip pens, and those are just going to wipe off. So I need to use, maybe I do need to just use a classic sharper pen. Note. See, it's going to be hard though. So don't, oh geez. Don't worry too much about it. But this is the overthinking part. This is where I'm going to think a bit, and then I'm going to let it flow. So there's my no notebook. And I think a pen's going to do it. So now that I know that, I'm going to find now next would be, I want this space to be what I use. So if this is where roughly that's where I'm going to stop. And I could use this whole page, so from the top of this to here, so you can't outthink your intuition. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase it up here and use this whole space at the top here to start fleshing out the style of words I'm going to use. And I'm going to put it down here. So I like all caps. You can't. And then I'm going to put outthink as one big word. Out. Now I know outthink isn't a word, I don't believe, which is why this is my quote. So it's not going to be proper English. You can't outthink, right? Or outthink yourself, right? Outthink your, I'm going to put that as one word here, in, and let me look it up. Don't want to spell it wrong. I'm almost positive, but never am I sure when it comes to spelling intuition. So it's INTITION. I don't know if I spelled it right the first time. I probably didn't. Maybe I did. Get rid of that. And back to what I was doing. So you can't outthink your intuition. I like this. You can outthink your intuition. So if that's my goal, here it is at the bottom, and I have this space to work with because I know that's the size of the front of my notebook. Let's start coming up with some font choices. So you can't should be the same font. You can't I like that kind of like roundedness, right? And then outthink is really two words, but I'm thinking it could be, maybe it's like jagged. No, because that's going to be messy, and it's going to be really hard to recreate with a pen. Let's be realistic here. I like this smoothness of the you can't. And then maybe boxy outthink. Alright, so, and then it could be thin box letters. O-U. No, thinner. Thin. Out. What I like about hand lettering is that you really take your time. T-H. No, thinner than that. Thin. H. I, which is just going to be the classic. That. I don't really. Hate's a strong word, but I don't like this I. For some reason, I've always disliked capital I, and I've always just done that as opposed to that. I don't know why. It just always bothered me. Never really liked the top and bottom of I's. Don't know why. T-H-I. N. I'm going to go thinner. Nope. Got to go like that. And then I forget that this has to go like this. Sometimes I get, there we go. And then that. There we go. Now think. I-N. And then like that there. And maybe this has a hyphen? I don't know. Let me do that real quick research. I don't know. That's what this is part of all of this. Yeah, it's a hyphen. Outwit sounds better, but I don't say that word, so you can't outthink. I don't know what your would be, but I feel like intuition would be script. You can't outthink. Maybe your has like a banner type thing. Like this. Like that, you know what I mean? I always mess up this part. No. I feel like that's too much. It could look cool. I'm not sure what the your is going to be yet, but I'm going to say intuition should be no. Maybe yours should be the... No, I don't know. See, this is the part where I'm like, if you got to do your own thing, do your own thing. 'Cause see, I learned cursive. Struggling to... I forgot there was like a little thing that goes with the I. So it's like this little thing. Yeah, this is what you need to do for the I. So it's in... T... The I would be small. So 2I T I O N. Intuition. I like it, but Hmm. I almost kind of like my original one of just like the letters. So maybe your is the cursive word, even though that's very ugly. This one came out much nicer, but it was also because I took my time. Your. No, that you looks bad. See, you gotta take your time. Alright, I like that. That's not a bad your. I think it needs the... So it'd be like this. Like that. There we go. And then intuition can be... Maybe it's not cursive for the intuition. I'm not a big fan of the way it looks. See, you gotta try different things. So can't outthink your... Would intuition work as bubble letters? Big bubble letters? Right? Maybe even bigger. IN. T. I almost kind of want it to be like that, like really. No, bigger at the bottom and then little at the top. T. I. See the N. I wonder if I could get the N better. Like more like with little. Like this. Right? Like in here. Looks like too much like an H. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to draw an N, and then I'm going to draw the bubble letter around it. And then I'm going to get rid of the original. That's what I'm going to do. Still don't love it. I feel like it could be like this. Like that. And then this one could be more like that. There we go. Intuition. See, it doesn't fit like that. So I would have to make it thinner than fat. Thinner rather than fatter? 2I. But I like the length. And I like this one being thin boxy, that being the cursive, this being thin, like just one thing, and then this being bubbly. I think that does add up, but I gotta go a little bit skinnier with my bubble letters. My eyes were a little too fat. And then I kind of want it to be big at the bottom. Like that. This was the bigger on this side, smaller on this side idea. bigger on this side, smaller on this side idea. Like that. Yeah, I-N. And then little at the top, like this. Yeah, like that. And then down here, and then wider, like that. Yeah, that's coming together. N-T-I-N-T. So U would be perfect, because there'll be little things at the top, like that. And then bigger at the bottom. Alright? No, I don't want it to be too... So I-N-T-U-I. I-T. I. Because it's I, and then O. And the same thing would be like a little at the top, and then bigger at the bottom, where it's like this. And then that, and then a little guy like that. And then another N, so it's like a little guy like that, and then bigger to go to the end. And then up the edge here, where we go a little at the top, little thing, and then over, and then down. See, it's like a little hard to read, and that's what I like about it. So it's like, wait, what are you talking about? Intuition. Okay. See, I like that you'd have to look at it and overanalyze it. Can't outthink your intuition. So if we can make this a little bit prettier, I think I like the idea of it. Okay. Well, I don't want to overthink it. I think this might work, and because I have this as my page, now it's 99 sheets. We're going to attempt to put this here. So, now that we have our lettering, then I'm going to plan to put this now on my notebook. And the goal here is going to be to try to do my best to recreate what I just sketched out. And however it comes out, no big deal. Again, it was a $1 notebook, so even if it doesn't come out great, and for some reason I'm like, this is horrible, I'm throwing this out, which would be crazy, I wouldn't do that. I would still utilize it, but I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to keep it because it's not like it was expensive, and it's not like it's a big deal, and neither would be one piece of paper, right? So make things, draw things, who cares? If it comes out perfect, cool. If it doesn't come out that great, also not a big deal, right? That's the point of the creative expression, is that you're not doing it to appease anything, to get this like perfect score. It's to do something like playing music, like dancing. It's the same thing, where you're not doing it to get it done. You're doing it to experience and express, and that's what you should do when it comes to drawing in any way. And this is my way of kind of journaling, hand lettering, and doing art all at the same time. So let's get back to it. So with that, I have this here. You can't think your intuition. Let's see if I can get that on here. So the U can't. I'm going to try to put like a general thing. And I wonder if there's anything I could put here that would stay, but I don't think so. I'm trying to think what would be the best. I guess there's really no good way. I mean, I could just simply. That's not a bad idea. I have transfer paper. Let me grab it. Give me uno momento. I think if I can't find it quickly, I will scrap the idea, because I am here and working on this. But I know I have some. I just want to see. I think I just recently moved stuff. It's not here. Here. Not here. Not here. Again, not a big deal. If I can't find it. I just know I had some of that tracing paper or transfer paper. And I just recently went through all my stuff and did not find. I do not see it. Does not mean I don't have it. Is this it? It is not it. I got excited for a moment. Definitely it. And the only other place might be. Nope. And I'm gonna give up in just one moment if I can't find it. That's that. What you gonna do? I know that would be the easiest or the best way to do this, but unfortunately, I see no way of doing this without ruining the video. So, we're back. Welcome. Hope that you're still enjoying yourself as you sit and draw and write and do the things that you're doing. I could not find it. So, we're not going to do that. And that's okay, because this isn't perfect. But we're going to play with this concept of it. So actually what I can do is trace it and make the indents right here. Haha. I overthought it. How freaking funny is that? Here I was trying to overthink it, and then I just was like, you know what? You just got to do it. As I started to do it, it just made sense. And now here we are. Aha, see? It worked after all. So now if I line that up with that, so I'm just tracing and I'm pushing really hard and I'm indenting into the notebook. And I'm hoping that it works the way I know it will. I'm taking my time with it. I'm taking my time running over everything. I'm gonna kind of let this be what it is. Perfect. So now I should have, haha, you can't really, oh, there you go. Look at that. That's pretty cool, actually. You can't outthink. And I might end up leaving it like this, which is even cooler. Outthink. I'm just allowing this to be, I think you're, slower you go, the better your lines will be. Promise you that. And again, I'm going with the flow here of just how it all goes. If I can get this to be just right, I'll be very happy. Because I think this just proves that whole thing. Because I have been trying to overthink a lot of things recently. Every time I give into my intuition, it's always better. It did fit. You can see it. Ha ha! There it is. You can't outthink your intuition. How fun. I think that is really cool, actually, just the way it is. It's almost less invasive, and it almost makes me want, like, because now you won't even know that it's there until you have this. So I'm actually don't think I'm going to add ink. I think that'll muddle it. Kind of like it better like this. And look at that. I thought I was like, oh, you know what? Let me plan to make sure that the pen works. I was going to use the transfer paper, and now none of that would have made it better than just going with kind of the natural flow of what happened. That is really fun. And then if you turn it like sideways, you wouldn't even know there's anything on the notebook. And then there it is. I'm happy with that. How cool is that? So, technically, that's it. That's all I planned to do today. I planned to just write that, put it on my notebook, and I'm actually quite happy because here's the same notebook now with a piece of art on it that you'd only know if you look at it a certain way, which has always been something I found. I've always loved optical illusions. I've always loved magic tricks. I've always loved things that are that don't meet the eye, sleight of hand, all that stuff. So it's fun to think like, oh wait, oh there is something on here. You know, think your intuition. Oh, thanks for reminding me of that. So when I go forth and I write things in this notebook, I'll be reminded that even though I can think all these amazing thoughts and all, I can go back to all these different books and tools. They're helpful, but at the end of the day, I have to trust my gut and I have to go with that. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. This was my Therapeutic Thursday. I try to do this every Thursday. We'll see if I can keep it going. And if you enjoy it, let me know. Otherwise, do your thing. Have fun. Be creative. Get out that energy and do it in a way that feels constructive and maybe silly. This was just like, who knows? This doesn't mean anything. Again, this is just something that I got to do. And I got to share it, which is even better. So thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day and week and fun. And things are good for you. Take care of yourself. All right. Bye-bye.